Yeah, just I think you guys got the injury report. Going to rule those 3 guys out. Everybody else is ready to roll, and just got off the field, had a good practice, and I think the guys understand the challenge that we have this week. With that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Coach. First question goes to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, if you could just give us, the Myles update. I see that he was limited. So, how did he look in practice, and how do you feel about the outlook for the weekend with him?
Yeah, he's ready to go, Mary Kay. He, limited, couple plays off, making sure we're keeping tabs on him, but he's ready to go.
Okay, so you feel really good about that, and it probably really was never much of a concern, was it? I mean, you kind of seemed to know all the way through the week that he was going to play.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Additional questions for Coach? Mary Kay, your line's still open if you had another one.
Sure. When you just look at, the rest of the injury report, you guys are once again going to be without Hooper and Teller. Just what impact do you expect that to have on the game?
Yeah, I think those guys are working very hard, Mary Kay. Just now watching them, they're pushing to get back. It just didn't happen. Kind of ran out of days with those guys, but they're very much into it. They're very much into the game plan, very much into supporting their teammates, which is going to be a key on Sunday.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Didi Kinkabala, you have our next question.
Hi. When you look at what the Bucs were able to do with Josh Jacobs, how much is transferable? How much is transferable to what you do?
I think, Didi, we look at all that tape, and you got to understand the scheme that defense is running, how it relates to us. Sometimes it's carbon copies. Sometimes it's so different that it doesn't apply. But them in particular, they were so sound. They tackled well, and tackling, regardless of scheme, regardless of plan, tackling is such a key to stopping a rush attack like the Raiders have.
If I could ask another one about your defense, Myles Garrett, we're seeing him really play everywhere, both sides, inside even. What's the genesis of that? And can you remember having a player like that really could just so nimbly move all along the defensive line?
That's a good question. I think we move him around based on what he's feeling that day. Sometimes he's feeling the left side, the right side, inside. Matchups always dictate those type of things, but he does have the versatility to really line up anywhere, which is key for our plan.
Thank you, Didi. Jeff Shadell, you have our next question.
Hey, Kevin, I know you asked this earlier in the week, but is Donovan Peoples-Jones still going to return punts and kicks for you with as added load as a receiver?
Yes.
Next up is Tony Grossi.
All right. Hey, Kevin, I'm wondering, we may have our first weather day Sunday. How much does weather affect your game plan on Friday and Saturday? I know it'll affect it on Sunday if the weather changes, but how much do you put into accounting for possible weather?
Yeah, Tony, we look at it starting, on Monday, but it's oftentimes not a great level of accuracy all the way back there. So we just keep tabs on it throughout the week, and it looks like it's going to be very windy on Sunday. So it's definitely going to be part of the elements. That's part of our game, part of our advantage playing on Lake Erie, and we're well aware of it and have to make any adjustments. But it's something that we're thinking about really throughout the week.
I know you don't go as far back as Metropolitan Stadium back in Minnesota, but did you enjoy coaching in the Dome? I mean, as an offensive coach?
Yeah, I do think there's something about being in the elements, though. And back with the Vikings, while they were building that new stadium, we played at TCF Bank Stadium there with the Golden Gophers home, and that was outstanding. Just to play, out there in the cold, in the rain, in the sleet, didn't really matter. I really believe that our guys understand that we have a huge challenge here. The weather is just a matter of fact. It doesn't really affect how we approach our game. As coaches, obviously, we'll make any adjustments we have to make, but the guys they're like the mailman. They'll play anywhere.
I'll play on time.
That's right.
Thanks, Tony. We'll go to Scott Patrick next.
Hey, Kevin, we talked about it a little bit early in the week, but how important is it to get more contributions from guys besides Myles when it comes to rushing the quarterback?
Yeah, Scott, that's a huge part of it. And we have a rush plan, and sometimes that's rushing 4, sometimes it's 5 or 6, sometimes 7. And I think ultimately what it goes to is we're trying to create matchups for our guys. And then our guys, you got to go win a one-on-one. It's no different than a wide receiver versus a DB. It's a one-on-one wide receiver DB training camp drill. You can just zero in on those 2 guys. And then same thing with the pass rush. You can zero in on 2 guys and say, this is a pass rush drill, and somebody's got to go win.
And when you watch Derek Carr, is he taking advantage of some blitz situations with hitting deep, those deep balls to Ruggs and Aguilar?
Yeah, I think he's just taking advantage of the look. Sometimes it's blitz, sometimes it's post safety man coverage, but they're not blitzing. I just think he's doing such a nice job of seeing coverage and then taking his shots when they're there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. We'll go back to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, Coach, just wondering, we talked to Alex Van Pelt a little bit about this yesterday, but do you sort of feel like that Bengals game could be somewhat of a launching point or a turning point for Baker in your scheme, where maybe, the lights kind of came on and it's just sort of an upward trajectory, hopefully, for him from here?
Yeah, I think for Baker in particular, to come off of that game and get recognized with the award, I mean, sure, I think that can only help confidence, but I think he's got the confidence of his teammates really going all the way back through training camp, because he's about his business. He takes this very seriously, this job. He puts everything he has into it, and he's performing in practice. So, yeah, I expect Baker to continue to progress throughout the year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. We'll go to Nate Ulrich next.
Hey, Kevin. For Myles, do you expect him to be able to have his normal workload Sunday?
I do.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you about a play from the Bengals game, just because I wonder what you think it says about Jarvis Landry. It was when you guys went to spike the ball on the game-winning drive, and he helped Harrison Bryant, making sure he was on the line.
Yeah, he almost tore a pec. He was waving so hard to tell Harrison to get on the line. He's a very heady player. I showed that play to the team this morning. On Friday, we show him a lot of clips from around the league to understand situational ball. And the first play of that drive, you had Donovan Peoples-Jones get tackled. He's trying to get up. The guy won't let him get up. He flips the ball. So a rookie flips the ball to another rookie, Harrison Bryant, who runs the ball in to J.C. Treader. So the guys, as a team, I think are really working hard to have that shared situational awareness. And Jarvis, the veteran that he is, has been in those moments and understood what had to be done.
Go ahead, Nate.
Is it invaluable to have a veteran with that awareness who can kind of set that example, and then, it can, spread throughout the team?
Yeah, I think it's of huge importance. I just think Jarvis in particular is a very, very smart football player. I don't think there's anything we install that he doesn't understand why we're installing it, or he has experience running that play. And I'm talking in the run game as much as the pass game. He understands all of the run schemes probably better than any guy I've been around.
Thanks, Nate. We'll take 2 more. We'll go back to Aditi, and then we'll close with Andrew Gribble. Aditi, your line's open.
So going back to Jarvis, he's a guy that plays angry, and he has not been in the best of moods this week, from what I can tell. How can that be valuable? How can that help?
Yeah, whatever it takes to get in the right mindset to go battle for 60 minutes on Sunday. Jarvis, when he comes to work, you're right. Sometimes he's not in the best of moods, because that's how he plays. He plays angry. So I try to stay out of his way as much as possible.
Thank you, Aditi. We'll go to Andrew Gribble for a final question.
Yeah, Coach, I'm asking about a guy we haven't talked much about recently, but that's Grant Delpit. I'm just wondering, how has he kind of stayed engaged with the team, and how important is it for the coaches and players to still embrace him, as he's going through his season?
Andrew, he's doing great. He's attacking his rehab. He's staying into it. I think very highly of the kid. And I know the coaches that are working with him, the strength coaches that are working with him, all the trainers, all of them report that he's full speed ahead on his rehab.
And what can a player gain from being in meetings and things like that, even if they're not playing?
Yes, some guys learn from doing, some guys learn from listening and being on the board. And I think Grant is he's a very conscientious kid. He's making sure that this year he's still spending a lot of time and a lot of energy to understand the scheme and understand his role. So when he hits the ground running, he's ready to go.